Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Montel's Random Podcast. Today, we are doing a live guest. So I think it's going to be pretty exciting, and I'm excited for it as well, so you should be too. And remember, if you get your own podcast, you can say whatever the fuck you want to. Yeah. All right. So today, we have a special guest, a friend of mine, and her name is Miss G. So we're going to keep it like that, and I think it's going to be pretty exciting and educational for me as well, because as everybody knows, I am a people person, and I like to study people. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. What's going on, G?
Well, hey, how are you? Everything's good.
It's just another day in the office, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great work week, a lot of hectic things. Oh, by the way, listeners, I'm on blood pressure medication. Thank you very much, U.S. Army. So that's some great things that are happening in my life. And I still eat like high sodium foods, so that's not really going to help anything. But anyway, energy drinks.
Right. The great news is we're not here for health advice today.
Very true. Very true. So, this is your first time ever being on an interview?
I've been interviewed before, just professionally, but nothing quite like this before, and not a podcast.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, this is a very liberal podcast, especially when it comes to any type of verbal language or usage. So feel free, relax, be comfortable with your answers, and just be yourself.
All right.
So let's go into some questions. So what is one thing you wish you had known when you began your career?
So, as you already know, my career is a dietitian in the Army. The one thing I wish I would have known when I started out was how much a dietitian makes. They made us go through those motions, do the PowerPoint, do all the research on what a dietitian makes, and at that time, I thought $50,000 was a lot of money. I thought, oh my gosh, I'll be rolling in money. I didn't know the truth. So it turns out $50,000 is not a lot of money.
No, it is not.
And in order to make more money and to pay off student loans, I started looking into the Army, and that's what got me here. So I wish I would have done things a little bit different. Wish I would have really known what I was getting into and how to support myself. You know, it's a great job, it's a great career, but it's not something you can really support yourself on if you are an individual, is an independent person.
That's interesting that you say that, because I have 5 sons.
Yeah.
And yeah, the pay is decent, but if you don't know how to financially manage your money and set yourself up for the future, it could be difficult. And I didn't know that you guys got paid that so little. That's
that's
interesting.
That's not even starting salary. That's after you're in for a little bit.
Wow.
You're looking at entry level starting salary down in the 40s. That's more of a median income. But yeah, something else. What you're talking about with like financial stability and just financial education is, you know, as a civilian, you're taking on those student loans. You're signing that dotted line. You really don't understand interest at that time. And you start out with this certain amount, and it explodes, it balloons, because you're getting interest on interest on interest. And by the time you're done, it's an astronomical number. So I think that kind of education is extremely important, understanding what you're really getting into.
It's funny. That's funny. And then, you know, the weird thing that for me, in the military, once I retire, I'll be making double the amount that I make now.
How are you going to make them double? I mean, you need to educate me now.
Well, because I'll have my retirement, I'll have my disability, and if I so choose to work again, then with that alone combined, because I have a certain figure that I'm not going to go below to work, that I'll be making 6 figures a year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about the next couple years, because I'll be done.
Yeah.
And if they try to force me to take the vaccine, I'll be done even sooner. So, and yeah, so those of you that don't know, I have a huge conspiracy behind the COVID-19 vaccine. I will not be taking that. And if I am forced, I will drop an early retirement packet, because I'm not playing with the big army or the government for that matter. So that's enough said on that. That's another podcast, so we'll get into that.
There we go, another podcast. That'll be a good one too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm doing a lot of research right now, so yeah, there's something behind it.
Yeah,
there's an agenda. And it has something to do with the previous podcast that I did on Executive Order 13603.
Okay, what's that order? I don't know.
The executive order to basically enslave America.
Interesting.
Yeah, so kind of how they're doing it now to where now and you just saw the amended order, is that you have to have that vaccine card on you if you want to go on post without a mask.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
That is mandated. They actually said it is an inspectable item.
Really? I haven't read this order yet.
Yes. The amended one, number 7, just came out today. And I thought that was very interesting.
Huh.
Yep. And it goes along the lines of control. So once I get my research done with that, that'll be another post.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Which is funny because the last post that I did and related to COVID-19 was the only post that I've ever done that was deleted. Not by me. By I got an email saying, we deleted your podcast. No reasoning behind it. No, nothing. And I've said some offensive things on here that never got deleted. And I don't even think I cursed on that one.
Yeah?
And it got deleted.
Does it have to get reported to get deleted, or admin is just going through doing search?
Yeah. They didn't say anything about it was reported or anything like that.
Huh.
I thought it was very interesting.
Well, we'll see how long this one, when you do make it, how long it stays up.
I'm not thinking it's going to stay up long. Because I'm doing some extensive research.
Well, there we go. We can play some bets on how long it'll stay up.
We'll see how that goes. So, next question.
Yeah.
What is your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
This is a really hard question because in a lot of ways, I don't believe in failure. It's we fail forward. We learn from what we do. And I'm the type of person, I want to reflect, I want to learn and grow from it. But if I really had to dig deep and think about where I do feel like I'm failing in life, it's reading people. And we've talked about this. I feel like I take so long to read people. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I look for patterns rather than just accepting what they're telling me in these first couple interactions, that I feel like I'm allowing people to disrespect me, or I will accept a disrespect because I'm, again, thinking it's just situational. Maybe they didn't mean it. Making excuses for them. And so I keep doing that to myself. And in my eyes, my mind, I'm failing myself. Like, I should not be allowing that. So that's where I want to get better. And that's the real failure I think I have in life.
That is interesting.
And
Me? Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and we've talked about reading people so many times. Have you ever experienced that? Like, where's that cutoff for you?
Have I ever experienced failure, or?
Well, just in reading people, have you taken too long to read somebody?
No, like I told you, for some odd reason, and this is since I can remember, I just read people well.
Yeah.
Like, even when I was a kid, even like in church, I would get vibes off people, be like, oh man, that's not a good person.
Really?
And I would see them after church, like a deacon hitting on a church member, or in the back sneaking a cigarette or drinking liquor or whatever, like that type of stuff. I'm like, that person's not good. But going back to failure, I think that failure happens when there is no growth.
Okay.
So if you were to fail at something and say, man, that sucks, and you never revisit it, that's true failure. Anything else is growth, it's progress.
Right. And
that's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, I agree. And with that mentality, there's no real such thing as regret. I can look back and think things would have been easier if I would have done it differently. But I'm also not the type of person to ever take the easy road. I always take the hard road. Yeah. So there's really no regret there. You always learn. You always grow.
Regret, though, like for me, I don't regret anything.
Yeah.
For me, it happens. Now I know.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything I've regretted.
Yeah. Well,
even being here.
Yeah. That's a statement.
even being here, I don't regret it.
Yeah. What would you tell your kids if your kids said they regretted something? How would you teach that to them? How would you teach failure and regret in a way that they would understand?
I think the way that I've been grooming them, they don't even really get the concept of regret or failure, for that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Mistakes have been normalized, and learning from them is just part of life. So
my oldest son, he's a freaking brainiac. He's like a savant or something.
Okay.
But when he feels like he's not good at something, he'll be like, Dad, I don't think I did well in this. I said, okay, so is that the only chance that you have at it? He's like, no, I can do it again. Okay, so do it again.
Excellent.
And if he does it again and he does better, he's like, Well, I did better. Well, we had that conversation, right? Yeah, you're right, Dad. Okay.
Right.
I'm not always right, so don't take my word for everything. But you have the opportunity to try again. So he's like, yeah, you're right, Dad. So I don't necessarily, and I think that's the problem with a lot of people is that we're fed certain behaviors instead of saying you're not limited to the left or right of this. It's whatever your choice is to continue to do it, you continue to do it.
Right.
That word regret, failure, those words don't really compute when it comes to me. So
and to me that seems very similar. It might fit in with growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Growth mindset is focused on the journey, whereas that fixed mindset is focused on outcome. And if you're only focused on outcome, then if you don't achieve that outcome, then you feel like you failed.
Yep.
But if you're focusing on the journey, that is evolutionary. That's always changing. It's a moving target and it's dynamic. You can't fail at everything if you're always in process of.
But you can fail at everything that you say I failed.
That's true.
So if you accept it and say, well, I failed.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You honestly did. Yeah. Because you didn't say, oh man, that didn't go as I wanted it to. Now I got to figure out what's going on with whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Oh, there's a quote out there, and I can't remember who said it. I want to say it was Henry Ford, but it could have been Aristotle for all I know.
I'm normally good with quotes.
Oh, then you might know. But it's this quote is, whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. Who said it?
Crap. That's got to be Albert Einstein.
It could have been Einstein.
Einstein.
That might have been it. It might have been Einstein.
I think it is.
It might be. Yeah. But that feels like it fits. Mm-hmm. It's just whatever your mentality is. If you feel like you failed, you failed.
Totally agree.
Yeah. If you feel like this is just a step in the road, then it is. Yeah. Just like you told your son.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got a good one.
All right.
This is a good one. How would you describe yourself? And this is the holistic you.
The holistic me, the authentic me. That's difficult. What I want, what I try to portray, what I try to emulate.
I already know who you are. So.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you're going to tell me if I'm right?
We'll get your version. We'll get your version. I'll give you my version. My thought.
Okay. All right. So that question, I think I'm a genuine person. I think I am curious. I feel like I am easygoing. And I also think I'm a very moral person. I tend to stick to my values. I don't deviate very much from them. I also feel like sense of humor is very important. So if that's central to me, that's central to who I am. I'm spontaneous. I like adventure. I'm unconventional. I don't like to fit into the norm, so to speak. I came from a very traditional household, which I appreciate, and I know that was right for my parents, but wasn't quite right for me. So I'm trying to find my own path, and I'm still discovering who I am in a lot of ways. Also, the person I was last year is not the person I am now, or the person I was 10 years ago is not the same person I am now. So we just kind of keep growing and redefining and figuring what's important to you right now. But I think there's going to be some central things that will never change about me, and it's going to be that curiosity, my morals, and being in service to others. Those will never change about me. So what do you think?
Okay, I agree with a lot of that.
Okay.
I think for certain instances, you're fearful of the way people will look at you.
Perceive me.
Yeah, especially when it comes to leadership in that aspect. And I think that people's perception matter to you more than it should.
Okay.
It matters a lot more than it really should, and that kind of hinders your progress.
I would agree with that.
As far as evolving as a person,
I would agree with that.
Because instead of charging forward and being like, I don't really give a fuck about what they think.
Right.
It's like, I don't want them to think I'm this type. Yes, you are a tiptoer.
I do. Yeah. I tiptoe.
But why is that?
Well,
I've been described